Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Link to the Past Randomizer League race. We got a very exciting matchup going on here. This is the second game between these two teams. We got my boys, WJP TBB, BrewersFanJP, taking on team we're bad at team names, AdirondackRick, which I think is going to be a good match. My name is Will J. Bradley, and I'm joined today by Killer App 23. How are you doing, my
As
friend?
your unbiased commentator for today, I'm doing pretty well, Willard.
Listen. Like I said before we started, I think I did pretty good commentating for my other teammates' match with little to no bias. I mean, yeah. You don't even have, you can go back and watch it and confirm with me if you want. It's not important. It's not the big deal.
Well, that was in. But anyways, bias or not, these two runners are pretty good rando players. Have put in the time and effort to practice and get ready for today's week one setup, which is open mode, regular open mode. So, what you're used to seeing starting out in your uncle's house. Nothing too out of the ordinary this week.
Nothing out of the ordinary. We'll save that for next week for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as you were saying, it's a very interesting matchup between these two. I feel like I'd have to give JP the slight edge just based on results and seeing his execution firsthand. JP making it into the group stages of the last tournament, just barely losing his round 3 in order to get into the brackets, while Rick, on the other hand, did not qualify for the main tournament, but actually made a pretty big splash in the Challenge Cup, making it all the way up to top 8. So, and only dropping 1, maybe 0 games along the way until then. So I feel like both these players can really show up today. So I'm actually really excited to see this race happen, and it helps that I'm friends with both these guys. So.
Yep.
But who do you think has the real power today? Dragonite, or Super Bunny?
I'm still gonna say Agahnim.
When are we gonna get playable Agahnim? I want to play as Agahnim himself in all of his thickness. I don't think that would work very well. He'd just be a big blob. It'd be hilarious if we can get extremely large, if you could just play as Moldorm himself and just wiggle your way around the game.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be terrible. All right, let's get this party started. We got Art Piece here in Link's house, and both players seemingly following the same route. Or
oh my! The dreams start. Not really,
Moon
but
Pearl on head. Come on, give us that.
Can happen.
It's like a less than 1% chance or something. It's very low.
Yeah, pendants in all light dungeons. If you missed that quick search, and got the green pendant down in desert.
Oh, very nice on JP's side, getting bombs for our tier 1 tree pull. While Rick's going to be taking the chance, the RNG chance down here, farming bombs, and actually gets 2. So gonna work out for both these guys.
So Uncle just has a heart container, and check out what we have in the chest here. Another heart piece.
So unlike the last seed, which I think... Actually, I don't know. I think he had weapons along the way. Anyway, it looks like JP is going to farm some more bombs. Probably save a quick, go to Sanctuary if I had to guess. Well, Rick's going to be taking a look here in Kakariko. We got a lot of checks coming up. He's got the bombs to cover it. Well, at least 2 of the 3 spots that require bombs, but there's a good chance you'll find a 3 bomb pack along the way.
JP looks like he's taking the early play on Hyrule Castle, getting enough bombs to complete the front half, although it's going to take some good execution to kill these guards with bombs.
Yeah, honestly, color me surprised. This is a interesting play on JP's side, but this is one of those kind of plays that might just really give him an early lead. Bomb start, I mean, we've seen it enough with the standard random weapon start. And everyone always, a big sigh of relief when they get bombs to start from their uncle, but really helps getting that tree pole out of the way. And it looks like Rick's going to take his other bomb to go farm some bombs down here in the Kakariko bomb hut. There's also some arrows in here if you really want to get excited. Oh. He's not getting them. Skipping the arrows. They're just going to cost him.
He's just hoping for that go mode bow, I guess.
Gotta be. Yeah, the funny thing is there's like so many different setups for bomb strats here in Hyrule Castle that it's pretty straightforward, at least if you're dealing with like standard stuff.
Yeah.
And actually getting that heart container is kind of nice because he can take a few bombs to the face without a problem. But so far only rupees in here, so nothing too exciting. So we need Zelda Cell to really turn things around.
See more bomb drops. So getting refunded a little bit.
Oh, there's the lamp. There's a sword. Rick already trying to die, and 300 rupees while JP gets another rupee here in Zelda Cell. So, I mean, I'd say that'd get him closer to Bottle Vendor, but we see a 300 along the way, and Bottle Vendor's nothing. All right, well, that is going to put, a small key and 3 more items in the back of Hyrule Castle. So,
which are all now in logic, too.
Yeah, that's true. Key, depending on the key. If the key is in the Dark Cross, then they'd be able to get to the rest of it. So,
yeah.
Wow, nice flute here in Kakariko. It's gonna save a little bit of time overall.
Boots or flute is really nice to have early on.
Kind of gives you. It's kind of like a comparable. It's like a double-edged sword, kind of, because it's like, all right, I have the flute, so I can put off like Agnes Cave, Ice Rod Cave, some of these one-offs, because I can always get back there really quickly. Or it's like, oh, I have the flute, so I can go check these really quick right now.
Yeah.
But it's like that bottle. If you can find hammer and powder while you're in Kakariko, all these things add up. That can be very convenient. Well, I mean, I could see going straight for South Shore, because that's usually the standard route. Kakariko, then South Shore, and then you basically toss a coin and pick Hyrule Castle or Eastern Palace. But I wonder if having that sword's going to send Rick into Hyrule Castle first. I'd like to see what's in that Dark Cross.
From seeing him in the past, I do know he's not hesitant to go to a Hyrule Castle, especially if he has a lamp and sword.
I mean, he does have the flute, which does give him access to 2 items up on Death Mountain.
Yeah, he likes to follow items too, so early flute, definitely a indicator where he might go. So we didn't see Lumberjack yet from either player, right? Just confirm. No, not yet.
Okay. So it's not something we can even think about yet. So we're 2 pieces of the puzzle away from going into Aga Tower. We still need another sword or the cape to put the Moon Pearl on the pyramid, which is a rare sight to see, but still happens every now and then.
Recollecting to go the south route here, starting with the well.
Now the question is, what is going to be the next item that's going to direct these players? I mean, we could see something as dumb as the book to go to desert. Hookshot or Mire would get us up to Hera. Hookshot will get us to East Death Mountain.
There's a globe.
And there is all of Hyrule Castle. Well, the other thing to think about that is Glove does also unlock Zora into Logic. So
yeah, and that early.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that 300 they got in might pull them that way towards Zora if they get a little bit more money.
Yeah, that's the thing. If another 100 rupees show up here in Mini Moldering Cave or something, I could see Rick maybe going for the fake flipper play to go visit Zora. Nice bomb to take out 2 of the Mini Molderns.
Ooh, that was very nice execution.
That'll show them. Hey, more bombs. Hey, 20 bucks. Hey, a heart piece. Hey, 20 bucks. Hey, a heart container. Wow.
Oh my.
A lot of resources, but nothing really giving us an edge here.
No.
Now, this is the question. I mean, Rick does have the glove. If he wanted to go to Ice Rock Cave, there is a... Whoop.
Well...
I'll try that again.
Duck just wanted to say hi.
Hi. Yeah, as I was saying, there is a rock up there that holds, what, 20 rupees that he could use to farm up to 500.
Mm-hmm.
I would kind of assume he's going to go for that, hence why he's lifting up this rock.
Not a bad choice.
But let's see if he just gets bailed out with the rupees in here first. Nope.
No, of course not.
Oh. Okay. I stand corrected. You know, sometimes I'll lift up that rock while I'm waiting for the bomb to go off because I'm just killing time.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Deciding to go the back of escape.
Well, could still get his rupees there.
Mm-hmm.
Could also still do the flipperless hula hand setup if he wants an extra 225 rupees.
Could be waiting too for either like the boots or the mirror so he can fake flipper and get what's in the waterfall kit along with Zora.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. If he finds the moon pearl, then that plays a little bit juicier.
Mm-hmm.
But he gets 1 rupee and another heart piece and another heart piece, which means the small key is in Dark Cross. And nothing really to gain from this other than a full heart container, which is kind of nice.
Not a lot of items early, so really not looking too good on a Agalus seed.
Is Santa Claus on your roof or something? Is he coming down early? Is he climbing into your chimney?
Obviously, the kids think so that live around here.
This is a pretty interesting seed, not gonna lie. We've seen Kakarikos or like just late roll in general, just dropping all sorts of items on us. It's like, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? But I mean, glove being probably the most exciting thing we found so far. Still need 2 more pieces to the puzzle if we want to get to Dark World efficiently, at least. Looks like JP either is going to head on out of here or he's going to flute back to 8 so that he can go visit Zora.
At this point, you have to think something's up on Death Mountain. Because about all we have left, well, JP going for the one check in Ganon.
Okay.
Which with the flute is actually not a bad play to check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really quick check you can make. It's kind of one of those isolated locations that you just hate to put off forever, and it ends up having something important. But yeah, now that these players doing what I would have done, which is gone to Zora very quickly. But it still makes sense. Like if you have the Moon Pearl, you can make that route a lot more efficient with checks. Man, another big 20. So this leaves what, Killer App? What spots do we have left to consider now?
Death Mountain in the Eastern Palace area, as far as I know.
Yeah, and that Zora. So we're kind of running short on stuff, which makes me think that we're either just gonna whabam find what we need to get to the Dark World, or Shazam find the hookshot or meteor hammer to go up to Hera or East Death Mountain, because that's kind of like the next big step. I mean, we could just find Mitts and a Pearl and go to Dark World.
Mm-hmm.
That's possible too.
You just never know. So I believe the small key is in the Dark Cross, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right. Because we saw it was nothing but rupees on the way to Zelda Cell, and it was nothing but heart pieces in the back. So literally, Hyrule Castle had 5 different rupees and 2 heart pieces for the items.
All the worth.
It's pretty impressive. I've never seen it so terrible. Makes you really feel bad for clearing it early, so maybe that's why JP went and checked Agahnim's cave.
Yeah, I'm in the group that likes to hold off until I have to before Aga.
Yeah, that's kind of what I tend to do as well. It's like, if it looks like it's going to turn into a seed that requires going through Aghanim's Tower, I'll try and put off Hyrule Castle as long as I can so I can combine them together. But we're not there yet in this seed. We got 10 arrows in the back. We got a red boomerang and another heart piece. So, boy, it's it's gonna be like hookshot Mire in the vanilla big key chest of Eastern Palace or something terrible like that.
Yeah. Great getting a first look at the pendant layout there.
Yeah, so right now both players kind of syncing up. I think the only difference is JP's checking of Agnes Cave. That's about it. So JP with the tiniest of leads. It's just a little bitty lead. I mean, here's the thing. I guess these players are also hoping that they can find like Hookshot or Mire before they go up to Death Mountain, just so they can do all that at once.
Yeah.
And early Pendant Eastern Dive is a generally safe play, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because if you can get all 3 items, then you just never have to come back here. Unless there's something on the pedestal. Which is very likely to happen with this layout, with these Pendant Dungeons.
We're missing a lot to complete these Pendant Dungeons, though, so we'll have to see what our next progression is. So as of right now, they can't complete any. Oh, and there's Moon Pearl.
Okay, well that means we are a hammer away, a progressive glove away, or Master Sword / cape away from getting to the Dark World.
Yeah. And
Moon Pearl.
Unfortunately, not on the pedestal.
And we got pretty close. Well, there is the big key. Still 2 more checks left. Hopefully we get 2 more items, and there's a map on Armos, so these players don't have to come back here until the very end of the game once they get the book and find out there's something required on that dangle pedestal. Okay, looking a little better. It's a 50-50. So Killer App, if you're playing this seed, or just playing seeds in general, when it comes to getting to the Dark World, what is your preferred method, preferred way of getting there? I personally would rather have Hammer than
Yeah, I think a lot of people would say Hammer, including me.
I think I'm the only one. 9 times, it's just, if the Hammer is not my access to the Dark World, Hammer's going to be someplace really stupid, usually.
Yeah.
It just happens too often. It's enough to make you go insane.
And if you usually have flippers, it's going to be over in Pod.
Right. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's really good. There is going to be a map on Armos Nights, which means that unless there's something required on Pedestal, we're never coming back here.
Yep.
All right. Wow. We've got Zora, Death Mountain. We have 3 checks left in the game, and it's a pretty sinking feeling when you last location your Dark World access. But it's tough because it's like already you kind of feel behind. You're like, oh, my opponent got flute and went straight up to Death Mountain and got whatever he needed. My opponent definitely skipped Hyrule Castle. Those thoughts start to like linger. They start to take over. So I mean, that's part of the challenge of this game is like not letting these kind of moments alter how you play the rest of the seed. All right, we're down to 2 checks, dude.
So, each going in the other way. So one of them will find progression. The other one may find it.
Yeah, and we're also going to see that Moon Pearl induced water walking experience. There's a sword on Lake Hylia.
And a fire rod up on...
And a hook shot.
What a Troy location for that.
Ooh, okay. Well, that opens up East Death Mountain, which makes me think that this is probably the correct play. But just imagine if Rick finds the Mire off of Zora or something. It'd be a nice opening. Because here's the thing. JP, very likely going to get this hook shot. Very likely going to find progression on East Death Mountain. Very likely going to put off Zora if that does happen.
Yeah. And with Rick having information on extra sword that Brewers fan might not find out, could be important as well.
Yeah, of course we can't get that Lake Hylia sword until we get both the flippers and the Mire, generally, and Dark World access. So.
Well,
it's gonna be...
they're gonna be found since both the dungeons that require those are, well, the swamp requires both of those still.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm definitely seeing this seed.
That is one thing, is with all these pendants in the Light World, it means we have to do every single Dark World dungeon.
Yay.
Which means the full amount of required items.
Good find there for Rick in the powder, which is nice to have early on if you need the health.
Yeah, it's pretty comforting to have that powder around. There's plenty of bunny beams and anti-fairies, especially in the Dark World. Help you get your hearts up. Though, you know, when you're almost 20 minutes in and you're sitting at 7 hearts, it's not bad. You're not feeling too bad about that.
Yeah.
Well, there's the Mire I was talking about. Wrong location, but that means JP is going to be able to get to Hera and get that fire rod.
And some not so cheap clothing for Rick.
Yeah, probably not what he was looking for, but at the same time, and the extra boost to defense, can't go wrong with that.
Item JP probably wasn't looking for. He just found as in the cape, but also an item he definitely was hoping to find early in the ice rod.
Also, well, then this is definitely, I mean, unless something in Hera or Spiral Cave gets him to the Dark World, I mean, this is really, really coming together as going to be an Aga required seed. I mean, just look at the loadout. We have all the things to do Aga Tower. We have lamp, sword, cape, but we also have the glove plus hookshot to hookshot across the broken bridge to get to West Dark World. So it's looking that way.
JP doing the smart thing and checking Spiral Cave now.
Yeah, there's no better time to check it. I mean, here's the thing. He could just find the mitts and then just do Dark Death Mountain in all its glory. Get the medallion for T-Rock and then walk over Mire and maybe go into Hera. But I don't know. I've seen a lot of players put off that pendant Hera as long as they possibly can. So it'll be interesting to see what JP decides to do. He's got 2 options right now. It's either go back to Death Mountain, get that fire rod, and maybe do Hera, or go do Aga Tower. So
pretty sure he wants that fire rod at least before he does that.
Yeah, I mean, Fighter Sword is not the best weapon for getting through Aga Tower because there are some relatively hefty enemies in there. Mostly just the ball and chain guards in the front half, but. You know what my favorite thing about this setup is that you could do the cool trick in Hera to skip the entire dungeon.
Oh, look at 5-6 crystals at Mire and T-Rock.
How about that? So, well, I mean, with both rods this early, then maybe Pyramid Fairy actually has something for once, because usually it has nothing, like ever. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Yeah, I don't know if either of these players are, you know, fluent in Hera pot or not. This is kind of one of those rare scenarios that you can either use that small key to go down the basement or skip the entirety of the big key to do Hera pot, which is what JP is looking like he's setting up if you get the right spacing.
It's a nice little time save, but having the map in that first chest would be a bit of a gamble, because you know, two out of the last three item checks are items, and you'd be skipping one of them in the big chest.
Yes, so he's basically hoping that the compass is in the big chest, and the remaining items are in the small chest in front and on Moldorm. And if that's the case, he's going to be able to save a lot of time here in Hera.
Yep.
But that's not the case. But now comes an important decision. If Moldorm doesn't give him anything, whether or not he does go and do the basement, because especially with this being a pendant dungeon, or just in general, it's like you're not going to want to come back just to do the basement to check the big chest.
And you have to think that Mire would lead to something.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. He's got... Oh, well, I think that's going to be it for Tower of Hera on JP's side. He hasn't saved and quit yet, but that feels pretty bad. Oh, he's going to go back. JP, there's a bomb in that pot right there. Go get it. You're concerning me. But, I mean, here's the thing. He could do... These players can do Aga Tower, and then they can hook shot across the broken bridge. It goes straight to Mothula with that fighter sword. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but did Rick not see the fire rod up on Spectacle Cave?
I think he tends to do right side first before. Wait, he had to have because he had a hook shot.
Yeah, because he got the hook shot. Okay,
shot.
so he's intentionally putting it off then.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But he thinks it's an Aga seed, so he's gonna take that gamble.
Rick went straight into Spec Rock Cave. How do you do that? I mean, I guess if you just... Why would you... Well, that's unfortunate for him, but very, very impressive. The only problem, that feels like a mistake, and that's the worst thing, is that's like a really easy thing to just immediately assume, oh, I already checked it, and it's nothing. So, hopefully, he sees that at some point later, but...
Yeah. Not gonna hurt him as much now since JP is also gonna do Agahnim here.
I mean, I guess if he just instinctively dropped down to go get the item blind without actually walking inside, then I could see how you'd miss that. But it's a free item. So JP is going to be able to save a little bit of time in here with using that fire rod to get past the first room and probably the rooms with the red guards. Those guys are pretty tough, but
right.
Rick does have the hook shot. They both have hook shots, so being able to stun these enemies is pretty helpful too.
As they're climbing, in case we haven't told you, as you can see, WJP, TBB are currently 1-0 in the league, and Team We're Bad names are 0-1 right now. And this is their second match of the week.
Yep. In the first match, JTB of Team WJP TBB took out Sinek of Team We're Bad at Team Names. In a pretty exciting matchup, actually. It was a very interesting seed, the way it played out. Rick's got to be really careful. And it's a good thing we're in the light world, and those bats don't do extra damage.
Yeah. And Rick has no way to fill up his health right now.
Yeah, the worst thing here is, like, obviously dying would be bad. There is some hearts in the next room, but he's got to be extra careful.
Yeah.
Because the scary thing about hookshotting guards is, as you can tell, sometimes the hookshot just fails. And that's because the guards actually have, like, a physical line of sight. It's like a beam shooting out. And you can actually shoot that beam like that. You can actually shoot the beam with your hookshot and just whiff entirely. It's the same thing with BMOS. It's really stupid.
And unfortunately,
if you've ever like loaded up like a graphic that displays it, it looks really dumb.
Yeah. And unfortunately for Rick too, it's the vanilla stun prize. So that doesn't help him out here either. But fortunate for him, he's already up the tower now and going to Agahnim.
Yeah, and look at that. Both these players now basically neck and neck. Now, I don't know if Blue Mail affects Agahnim's attacks at all. So he's going to have to be potentially very careful, because I know getting hit by an orb or a blue ball, I think generally does a heart, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's a heart.
It's gotta be careful. I don't know. My experience doing swordless Agahnim has taught me that it's very easy to die. But he should be fine. Like, as long as you stand in the right spots, you'll never get hit, ever. So. Alright, there's one blue ball so far. There's two! Oh, and he got hit. What an exciting match. These guys are both going to get to the Dark World right around the 30-minute mark, which, does that just make you feel great inside if you're a player?
Seems out pretty standard for an Agaseed to get around there that time.
Seems pretty normal.
But unfortunately for them, they don't have any Light World crystals, so they still got a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm. Alright, Rick does take down Aga first. JP not too far behind, only 2 blue balls today. And we are going to get a glimpse of the Dark World. We've already seen the crystals here. Gonna get another look on Rick's side. Or maybe that was the first look. Now begs the question, where to?
Yeah, they got pretty much most of Hyrule Dark World open to them with the glove and hook shot.
Mm-hmm. Pod not looking too hot of a player right now. If you maybe had the bow, you'd consider going that way, but right now, nah. Could go to Catfish, but really, I think it's hookshot across and then just clear everything as you go.
Yeah.
Clear Skull Woods. I know it looks scary with only Fighter Sword, but it could just, well, no, they don't have any bottles either.
Nope, which sort of takes out any early pod play too.
Well, that's the thing. If Mothula ends up having an item, I could see Rick maybe putting this blue mail to his advantage. The other thing is, I could see JP also Mire here to go check Zora.
Yeah, which is pretty smart play.
I'm just really excited. We're 30 minutes in and basically synced up. Rick, calm down. Oh. Excuse me? Save and quit. Where are you going, Rick?
Back to the
I mean, pyramid. This was his plan all along. I don't know if it's faster than just walking back from Catfish. It's probably like maybe a couple seconds difference. I don't know.
Well, he's not deciding to zip in pod. I'd say that probably was faster, but he's gonna do what JP's doing now and cross across with the hook shot.
Yeah, if he was going to pod, that would have been the right thing to do, but he sure ain't. All right, interesting. Well, we're gonna see Graveyard Ledge. I'll probably take a peek at what's at Bumper Ledge, and then I would assume that both players would probably dip into Skull Woods. We might not see the entirety of it, but it really just comes down to what these players feel like they're capable of doing. If you think you can take down Mothula with Fighter Sword, whatever magic you have left, and, you know, well, there's a B. Dude, if it's a gold B, we can do B strats. But actually don't, because it's never a good idea. It's going to be kind of interesting because, like, we'll see these players make their decision of whether they feel comfortable going for Mothula. Their setup is not the best. I mean, Rick obviously has a little bit better of a setup because he has that blue mail. But yeah, we'll see what these players feel like they're comfortable doing. Oh, well, it just dawned on me that Rick can't go to Skullwoods, at least to the boss, without that fire rod.
Nope.
I'm just baffled that he didn't get it, I guess. But we've already had that discussion. Now, here's the other interesting thing. We did Aga. I guess there's no point in checking to see what's at Lumberjack until you have the boots.
Yeah,
just do like bonk rocks to boots.
Yeah, I usually wait to check it until I get boots. So when I do bonk rocks.
Oh, oh, and a bush guard. Wow,
nice RNG there.
Beautiful. It's a Bombos medallion.
Ooh.
Okay, well
now
that can play might be extra spicy then, because we do have 2 dungeons that require medallions. One of them or both could require that Bombos medallion. So that's just kind of like, you know, cherry on top. Oh, I already had to do Aga Tower. So here's an item for your trouble. Oh, thanks. JP catching a ride on that Wallmaster to get back to the front. And yeah, he is going to go straight for Mothula, where we're going to see the front half over on Rick's side. So if there ends up being something in the back here for JP, that could be pretty advantageous for him. Killer App, if you were in this situation, would you go for this play? Would you be comfortable going straight for Moth?
Probably just because it's probably just because it's such a hassle to go back around without mitts or.
Yeah,
hammer.
That's true. And it's already made a little bit easier because they do have the mirror, so mirroring out after getting this chest is pretty convenient, or mirroring out in this room as well.
Mm-hmm. And having lamp, they don't have to use all their magic.
As JP uses all his magic.
Yeah, that's gonna make a little bit tougher fight.
Yeah, a bit ill-advised, I'd say. I don't know, for me, like, I feel like this is just a good play in general because just the way the seed has been playing out, they've been kind of put on this linear path that I feel like there's got to be something in Skullwoods, but maybe it's just in the front. Nope, $20.
There's.
All right, well, the thing to remember about the Mothula fight is it's kind of broken, where if you slash Mothula into the spikes don't hurt him, which is good, because otherwise it'd be broken, right? But at the same time, you don't hurt him. Because
good. Oh. Yeah. Good for Rick, though. He found both items in the front, so he doesn't have to go back and kill Maka until he's in go mode.
Yeah, so that's going to work out for him. It's going to not really save any time, but he's not going to get punished by his missing of the fire rod up on Death Mountain.
All right.
There we go. But on the contrary, JP is going to grab his first crystal.
Yeah, pretty impressive fight there. For only having basically the fire controller the whole fight.
Yeah, that was really good. Very, very patient play from JP to get through that fight. Okay. Well, worst case scenario is we go all the way down, full clear all the way down to Hype Cave, and then the answer was just like first chest pod or something stupid like that.
And there's half magic.
Yeah, another thing that JP's gonna get that and be like, oh man, come on. I can hear him saying that.
See what Rick decides here. He has the mirror out, so he might be just checking the 4 chests here. If he maybe gets 3 out of the 4 items, he might complete it, but if not, he'll probably mirror. Oh, and there's the flippers.
Which, you know what that means.
Yep. You can get that sword now.
Yeah. So after Hype Cave, you can hop in the water, grab that sword, and I guess he can go right back in and go over to Pod, but who knows? Maybe on the way here we'll find that hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd be able to go into Swamp Palace and clear that one.
Or everybody's favorite hammer in the first chest of Swamp.
Oh, gosh.
But there's
the rare sight to see.
So he does get 3 out of the 4 items here in the front of Thieves Town. So he's going to go ahead and try and complete the dungeon.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing is when you don't get that small key in the front, it means that it's like 50-50 chance right now at this point that it's going to be the big chest or it's going to be in the maiden cell. And even if it's not in the big chest, there's still a very good chance that the big chest could have a map or compass. So I feel like this is a very safe play to make at this point. Ooh, sick kid check. Okay. Nothing to see here. Yeah, that book right now, I mean, all that does for us is get us into desert. Just green pendant, but we still don't know if it's boots locked or not, as sometimes the small key or big key could appear on the torch, requiring the boots to complete it.
And also, for Rick, puts the tablets in logic, so you can get that Master Sword now.
Ah, yeah, that's a good point. Oh, that'd be annoying if you had to like go to Lake Hylia, get the sword, and then immediately go back to the village of no, they don't have mitts, so you'd have to immediately go back to the pyramid portal, walk all the way around to get your mitts or hammer off of Bombos.
Yep.
Oh god. Well, here's the thing: he can at least go read what's on it if he wants to do that first.
Yeah, that's true.
At that point, that's a bit of a stretch to go for that check, I guess. It's like if it does have something, you're gonna have to go around and do it anyway. But I guess it'd be worse to go all the way around for nothing. So, we'll be curious to see if he decides to check that or not. Alright, well, I guess the next question is JP gonna continue in Thieves Town after he pulls his book and then big key down here?
There's the last item, so
nothing to see here.
Know that the small key is in the big chest now.
It's pretty comforting feeling, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
And getting the best boomerang also is nice. All right, well, coming up over on Rick's side, we do have a relatively simple fight. The blind fight, as people say, it is scripted, basically, as long as you do the same thing every time. You shouldn't have a different fight. And it is really kind of unfair that you get to basically get a free phase on blind as they're setting up. I kind of feel bad. But at the same time, nah. I'm okay with this. Decent fight from Rick's side.
He has his first crystal.
Yep. So that's a tie game. Now the question is, what else are we gonna find along the way here? We are, let's see, we still have Hype Cave, Stumpy, south of Grove Cave or K45, whatever you want to call it.
Desert
Rick,
Palace now. 2.
Desert Palace 2. Yeah, of course, could get the sword and get the Either tablet. You know, that's the thing, is if he gets that sword, it might send him up to Death Mountain to go check Either tablet, which would benefit him. He'd be able to get that fire rod. Ooh, a little bit high on that. So you'll see players like toss the bomb kind of into the side of that shed. Shed has like some wonky hitboxes, so you can kind of throw the bomb through the wall. Rick was a little bit too high up there, so it just kind of bounced back and made him look the fool. Can you imagine? Looking a fool with 400 people watching. How embarrassing is that? All right, well, here's the thing to point out. JP, on the other hand, while he's got Cape and Half Magic, if he needs to bring that out for the blind fight, he absolutely can. Rick trying to spell a message for us, but gets bombs along the way, so... Nice try, buddy. Not today.
Asking why did I get those bombs?
Why? Scary thing is this could still just be a go to pot. Your answer's there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's true. JP also had Kana Burna, which is even better than the cape because it not only makes you invincible, but it also puts out a hurt box, and you can actually use that to kill blind. And in some modes, like inverted, or inverted, sometimes you're kind of, well, sometimes even just normal seeds will play out where you're forced into using Burna as your only weapon to kill blind early.
Rick being smart here, going to check the Ether tablet. See if he decides to mosey on into Desert Palace as well, after checking the what's here.
Okay, well, that is a huge sigh of relief, knowing you don't have to walk all the way back around just to get this item. But kind of disappointing. Well, no. I'd rather them not have to deal with that crap, because that just sucks. Now, someone in chat did point out this could be a hammer in the first chest of Swamp.
He's doing it!
He's doing it before going to Hype Cave.
What a gamer.
I don't agree with this, because if Hammer's just sitting in Hype Cave, he's going to look extra foolish today. He's doing it in the wrong order. Yeah. Here's the thing. Go to Hype Cave, maybe you get a hammer, maybe you get a sword, then go check Bombos, or go to Swamp.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I hope there's a hammer in Hype Cave, just because that would be absolutely hilarious. Well, the first chest is, of course, always going to have a small key, so we can get past this first locked door, but it's really going to come down to what's in this next chest. If this is a hammer, and JP doesn't make the same play, Rick's going to take a tremendous lead. If it's the mitts, if it's any sort of progression that leads to hammer, this will be huge. But it's just a bee in a bottle. I said but preemptively as if I already knew it was going to be nothing. And that's just because I have no hope in the rando for being mean today. Rando's going to be nice.
He could be rooting for his teammate.
I would never say you can't prove that. All right, come on, Hammer and Hype Cave, because it'd be funny. You can't deny that would be funny, right?
Yeah. I guess.
That's right. Yes. Well, there's the mitts. Okay, no hammer, but we did get the mitts, so our long walk around the Dark World is no more. We don't have to do that trip anymore. They can save their legs. But that does open up some new opportunities for this hammer.
Back up to Death Mountain to get his fire rod too. So
yeah, that's the thing is, at this point now, like, hammer could be in ice, but Rick can't go to the ice because we know where both fire rod and bombos is. He can't get bombos, and I don't know when Rick's gonna get that fire rod. But with the mitts, yeah, there's also East Death Mountain, Dark World East Death Mountain. We have the Mire area, which conveniently leads into a desert check. So
JP being smart here and checking the Hylia Island here because it's in the vicinity.
Yeah, going for the blind check here. Gonna get paid out. Oh, Rick, gotta be careful.
Not going to Zora though, which is I guess okay. He wants to check out the Mire area.
Yeah, at this point, Zora is basically dead for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's one of those just calculated risks you gotta take every now and then.
Didn't catch what the medallion was.
Yeah. Too fast, guys.
Oh, and there's the hammer.
The hammer. All right, Rick, now you can go to Swamp Palace. Well, that is honestly a pretty big sigh of relief getting that hammer right away.
Yep, which made their gamble of doing Aga before full clearing what they could in the light world pay off.
All right, I am getting word that it is going to be ether required for Misery Mire. I trust that no one would dare lie to us volunteer commentators. No one would do such a thing. We have no idea where that medallion is, so we'll have to keep an eye out for it.
Could be on Ether medallion. Or
Could be.
Ether tablet.
Could be. And looks like Rick is heading up there, so he will get his fire rod, which is good. We don't want to see somebody miss something like that. While JP is going, this might actually be that Zora check we were talking about earlier. Or he might just go straight into Ice Palace. Wow. He's doing it. This is a very early Ice Palace play. Well, we're 50 minutes in. I guess it's not that early.
Yeah. I probably, myself, probably would have done Swamp first, but...
Yeah, I'm sure JP's... I mean, here's the thing. He's either following this fire rod and the hammer he just got, and the mitts he just got. But at the same time, Master Sword, half magic.
No!
Wow, there's Canis Samaria up on Ether Tablet. So that book actually coming in handy. All right, well, at this point, as far as we know, we just need to find the bow, and we need to find Ether, and we need to find out what we need for T-Rock, which we're going to see over on Rick's side. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, like, Swamp seems like a safe play to make. But, you know, we're kind of getting to that point where maybe if you do a different dungeon first, there's the slight chance that we could go mode Swamp Palace, which is the dream.
Oh.
Okay, well, that's a... Whew. I basically just added another item to the acquired list. We are going to need to find them boots if we want to get that Bombos off of Lumberjack. And here's the scary thing. Only Rick knows that. JP does not know about that Bombos.
Oh, wow.
All right, well, Rick taking quite an advantage from this difference of play, going up to Death Mountain, getting Samaria, getting the boots, finding about the T-Rock medallion. If he finds like Bow and Ether in here, or something silly like that, he's going to take a pretty big lead.
Yeah, because all he needs is Ether and the Bow, and he can full clear T-Rock right now.
JP really needs to find like Ether in here or something.
Mm-hmm. Because we know it's going to be a while, probably, for him to go up to Dark Death Mountain, since he has dungeons to clear. Rick deciding to do Spike Cave. $50. So we know probably he's going to now do Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb while picking up his Bombos.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, it's at this point it's going to kind of come down to where's Bow and where's Ether.
Yep.
And you know, they could both just be very conveniently placed in like a crystal dungeon along the way, or they could be, you know, somewhere stupid in Pendant Pod, or the big chest of Tower of Hera, or you know, Smith Chain. We have lots of potential options here.
Right.
Curious to see how the rest of this plays out.
Nice reward there, picking up the sword.
Yeah, Tempered Sword's going to give Rick a pretty extensive advantage in the weaponry division, especially for taking out bosses like Argus, Cold Stare, just bosses in general. So it's going to help him out a ton. JP just finding the third bottle here. I believe there's still one item left, otherwise JP wouldn't be checking for more stuff.
Oh, and there's the other sword.
All right.
So
We
that
have
actually
all
really
the sword
helped.
info.
Really helped out JP there. Being a sword and the boots down, it might have really hindered the rest of the seed for him, but getting a sword there really helps.
Well, yeah, here. Okay, and there's the third item. All right. Now we've seen it all. So nothing progressive here in Ice Palace, but getting that sword is going to be really nice. And, you know, depending on the way Rick routes, if he puts off Ice Palace until he's in go mode, he'll probably, I mean, he would obviously skip getting that sword. So at least JP will very likely hit Gold Sword at some point. But yeah, overall, pretty convenient, pretty okay routing through Ice Palace. Now, he doesn't have any. Well, it's like he's got the cape. He could just use the cape. if things go wrong, he can just use the cape because he is still on green mail. So,
and he has half magic and fire rod, so not really a bad decision on how to take out Cold Stare here.
Be fine. Is this actually? Wow, what a wild play over on Rick's side. Going to go check the pedestal at this point. He knows how to get there. Rick. Please.
Right.
If only this was like happening like in the playoffs or something, so I could say playoffs, by the way. But this is week one of our of the divisions. You know, maybe he was not going for ped. Maybe he was actually just trying to get to the portal, but still. And then realize that there was no quick way to do it. Because it makes more sense to check pedestal after killing Mothula, which is actually going to work out pretty well. Right now. Yeah. And JP now going to go do his Zora checks. He is going to get his blue mail and his powder, which is in logic. So I'm surprised he's not taking a look and seeing what the fairy has to offer. But 10 hearts, half magic, eh. I gotta say, at this point in the race, advantage is going to Rick, just because Death Mountain Death Mountain having just so many goodies.
Yep.
Honestly, I'd say if you're JP, you'd be have a sigh of relief that it's just a blue mail, because it's like, I am almost an hour in and just now checking Zora.
Right.
So I'm glad it's not something super required. Very nice Mothula fight from Rick, very quick. And he will be grabbing his second crystal. Oh no. Oh no! Killer app! Look what's happening on screen!
Stuff.
Stuff!
But yeah, JP looks like he's going to Swamp now, which is the correct play.
I mean, here's the thing: he could just find what we're looking for up here, and
I mean, yeah, he could do left side Swamp and have something like the bow. That
10
is
arrows.
Not the bow, but 10 arrows.
Pretty close though.
Yeah, close enough.
I'm mad that we're already seeing all 4 swords, because now there can't be a sword in the swamp, and that's just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up at all. Alright, well,
That's only if it's a pendant dungeon.
Oh, right. Sorry, excuse me.
That or if you're in go mode. One of the two.
One of the two. Well, if there does end up being progression in Swamp Palace, we're going to be seeing it from both players coming up. So, but every second that passes by before JP goes to the mountain is going to be seconds that Rick's going to save with these boots. I mean, they don't make, like, a ridiculous... Like, if this has been, like, he got boots at the beginning of the game that JP just missed for the entirety of it, that'd be more significant, like... Now, I'm curious, if we don't find anything in here, I wonder if that would send Rick over to, like, desert or something with the boots.
He has all of ice, though, so he's probably going to head over there after Swamp.
Yeah, that's true.
Even if he does find something like Ether.
Yeah, it should also be interesting how these guys route through Swamp Palace, if they go for the initial left side swamp or go straight for Argus and then go back in. I feel like checking left swamp's a little bit better in this scenario because you're not one item away from go mode.
Right.
So my question is, I wonder what exactly... I mean, no, I know exactly what. You have crystal dungeons you could do. You should do them. Instead of doing a bunch of overworld. And, you know, maybe he's hoping, JP is hoping he can find what he needs to go do T-Rock or something. Yeah, we'll see firsthand just how much these boots are going to save Rick here in Swamp Palace. He's already catching up pretty quickly. Despite the fact that Rick had already checked the first chest. Or the first 2 chests, I guess, here in Swamp Palace. I guess if you're a JP fan, you would rather JP not find the bow. Ether, I guess it would be fine. Is he probably? Oh god! Well, there's map and compass, so there are 2 items on left side swamp, or an item and the big key, which will lead to an item. All right, 3 items so far. Still 3 more left to discover here, and for those,
if you're on JP's side, you really don't want to find anything in here. So he goes up to all the items up in Dark Death Mountain.
yeah, because I feel like I could see him going for Death Mountain over doing like Smith Chain, but I'm gonna assume he's gonna go back in and do left side. But yeah, for those just tuning in, pretty close race going on right here. Rick clearly in the advantage just because of the items that he has. He found the Kata Samari up on Ether Tablet. He found out the Bombos medallion was required for T-Rock, and already knew that Bombos was at Lumberjack. And the boots were in Super Bunny Cave. Alright, decent fight over on JP's side. Both players having a little bit of trouble with the second phase. Trying to do this double fire rod shot, tempered spin.
Showing his displeasure there.
And then rage fire rod shots.
It's like JP's going back in.
Alright, will Rick do the same, or is he going to hightail it straight on over to Ice Palace? I could see both these players going back in. But especially JP, because he's missing so many more items.
Right. Rick being conservative here and go ahead and check these last two items in the dungeon.
Worth noting, this is now a triple dip for Rick.
Yep.
Triple dip Rick.
Not as catchy as I thought.
No. There was potential there, but nah. Nothing. Now the question is Swamp Palace going to be nice and just give you 2 items, or is it going to be a jerk and put big key on the left side so you have to walk back and check the big chest? This is one of the reasons why next week is going to be an exciting mode, Ambrosia, which is a stupid name. But the nice thing about it is that dungeon items are never going to appear on any bosses, so situations like this won't exactly happen because you would just do left side swamp regardless. Not for the most part, but like having to go back into swamp if like Argus has the big key is bad. Is not good game design. It's not. I hate it. Personally, do not like it. Skull's easy because if Mothiola, if the big key's in the back, you can still walk backwards to go check the front.
There's the big key.
Gosh, dang it.
It's more walk than JP has to do.
And our container. Well, despite Rick having the boots, he's almost completely caught up with JP. He did lose a lot of time on the Argus fight, trying to take down phase 2, but looks like JP is going to be the first one out of swamp, and now comes the real question. Where are you going? What's next? You going up the mountain where we want you to go? You gonna go do Smith Chain? I mean, that's the thing. Smith Chain could still have the other goods. I could, as you said earlier, see Rick going straight into Ice Palace. Oh gosh, that's a mushroom.
Makes it a quick check though, since they have flute. It's not that trolly.
And, you know, while you're here, you might as well drop off a B, maybe pick up another potion. Though I see JP already has a blue, so he's probably good on that front. Trying to set up. He does have, you could tell because of his character animations goofed up. So he did get the hook speed. I think, maybe.
No boots, though.
No boots. So it's not a thing. I forgot. He forgot too.
Yep.
Maybe he realized it afterwards. He's like, wait a minute, I'm stupid. Never mind.
How am I not getting this? Oh, yeah.
Right. All right, well, this is good. JP heading up the mountain. He's going to get his Samaria.
Good.
And then once he gets his boots, he'll usually do King's Tomb, Bonk Rocks, up to Lumberjack, get his bombos. Rick, shot out. Where is he going?
He's going to T-Rock.
He is going to T-Rock.
Not a good thing for Brewers fan. Because if Rick had gone to, well, he would have gone to ice, would have had a full clear it too. But
speaking of not good, we got this Dead Rock in the way, and he's being a bit of a jerk.
Just doing what Dead Rocks do.
Yep, it's just doing it. It's what they're paid to do. That's how you make the big rupees. Yeah, that's the thing. We got 5 items coming up in T-Rock, as well as a 6-item at Mimic Cave. Access to all of that stuff. So if that ends up having either Ether or Bow, then Rick is going to be looking pretty good. And yeah, he would be able to go mode Ice Palace. He'd miss the sword over on right side, but I think full clearing Ice Palace is a lot slower than the difference a gold sword makes over a tempered sword. And JP also getting dead rocked here on his way to the Dark World portal. And the other thing to consider, I could honestly see JP immediately come back and do T-Rock afterwards. Sounds a lot better than Smith Chain. Because, I mean, it's either T-Rock, or Smith Chain, or Desert, or Hera Big Chest, or Pod. We still have not seen Pod. JP getting his boots at about an hour, 10 minutes in. Probably feeling a little bit behind because of how late he's getting this. But at the same time, you never know what your opponent's doing, so could be feeling just fine. So he doesn't know about Bombos at Lumberjack, but generally people will route Bonk Rocks into Lumberjack. Like you wouldn't skip it, so he should be fine. So what do you think it's going to come down to? You think it's going to be a bow hunt, or you think it's going to be an ether hunt?
For JP's sake, I hope it does come down to an ether hunt.
I mean, we could find ether, and then bow could actually be at that Pyramid Ferry.
Yeah.
There is, of course, 2 bows in the seed, and they are progressive, which I feel like is still kind of eh. I still don't know how I feel about it in general. But
uh-oh. Watch out, Rick.
Careful. Careful. Okay. Played it extra safe.
Don't blame him.
Don't blame him at all. Those things are nasty. JP gets through Spike Cave, gets his 50 rupees, and now... Where are you off to, bud? Gonna save and quit, probably go to Sanctuary, if I had to guess. Whoa! What the heck was that? What am I looking at
here? It's a
here?
nice boomerang there.
Is JP streaming at like 1080p or something? Fix it. Fix it. Nah, this is good content. I like this.
Not much yet in T-Rock for Rick.
It's like big. This is like big head mode, like DK mode in GoldenEye or something. Oh, I see JP. There he is. There he goes.
There we go. And looks like he's going up to check.
All right, so he is going to get his bombos. Now the question is he going to immediately go to T-Rock? I'm sure he's probably thinking about it. But at this point, if he does, he's going to be following in Rick's footsteps. Of course, he does have the crystal advantage at this point.
Yeah, so he's really not that far behind if you think about it.
Once again, we are just looking for the Ether Medallion to get into Misery Mire and the bow to complete Palace of Darkness, and of course, for GT. Will it be here? No! That's a bug net. Oh yeah, and JP does have the sword advantage, which is not a big advantage, but it's still an advantage. So he is going to be following in Rick's footsteps. Here, Rick about halfway through this dungeon. Maybe a little bit more than half. Have we seen any items in the dungeon yet? I'm sure we have.
I think there was a heart container and a shield. I know for sure.
Oh, okay.
There's some coinage.
Yeah, and here's the thing: if we don't find either of our two items in here, we could still see Rick go to Ice Palace and full clear it.
Yeah, that definitely would be his next play for sure.
It still kind of is one of those toss-ups. Like, okay, do I do more overworld or do I go for Ice Palace? Do I go towards the next crystal? Because it feels pretty bad to lose a race when your progression is just in the very next crystal dungeon. But and you know, when your option is Smith Chain, it's like, nah, now I'm good. I'll take the Ice Palace. Compass. So it's going to be a small key somewhere. There it is.
There it is.
Map. Yep. Called it. And
two shields. Nice.
2 shields. All right, still one item left on Trinex. Will this be our progression, or was this just a play to get 2 shields? And a crystal, I guess that's important.
A 5/6 crystal with that. So.
Fancy. So Rick is going to need to find that Ether Medallion if he wants to be 2 crystals fancy. I'm really thinking that bow is going to be in Pyramid Fairy.
That would be pretty cool.
Dude, just imagine like Ether and Pod to go get the Mire Crystal to go get bow or something dumb like that. Alright, nice first phase from Rick. Hopefully he can get the double spin. He's trying to set that up.
I got one there.
Yeah, definitely a little bit too low.
Oh my goodness.
No safety door, so that would have put him back at the big chest, which would have helped JP out a bit. JP, I'm a little bit troubled juggling this Samaria block as Rick grabs 3 bombs and T-Rock. As for progression items, bit of a bust. Will we see the Ice Palace play coming from Rick, or will we see a divergence? A gamble on the Smith Chain. Ooh, this is looking like a Tower of Hera. That's the only thing he has left up here. There is still one item MIA. But will Rick go for... Oh, look at a little Dratini. That's so cute. That's adorable. Yeah, will we see the Hera pot from Rick as well? Or is he going to go... I don't know. I'd feel bad like going for Tile Room as opposed to going to like Crystal Ice Palace. He's going for it. Wow,
He's going for it. I mean,
this is a bold play.
yeah, this is a pretty big gamble, knowing you have a Crystal Dungeon out there to full clear.
Like, I feel like this is a... I'm behind. I have to make a silly play kind of thing, but I just don't feel like he'd have any reason to feel behind at this point. He's kind of routed this one pretty well.
Minus
yeah,
the fire out he missed. But
yeah. And that's the thing, is if this leads to our progression, then that's honestly going to be probably curtains for JP, just because the Hera pot kind of put him in a situation where he really doesn't probably want to go back to Hera. But we'll have to wait and see what he does after finishing Turtle Rock. Rick really wants to go mode Ice Palace, doesn't he? He really do. Yeah, and that's the other thing, is if that ends up being nothing, then JP is going to pull ahead just because he already has Ice Palace done. So if you're rooting for team, we're bad at team names, and our boy AdirondackRick, or AdirondackRick, no, don't call him that. That's not a real name. You're hoping for Bow or Ether. Coming up here in this big chest. What will it be? Well, it's not just a heart container. It is the legendary Sanctuary Heart. The heart of full heals. That is not what you want to see. So Rick is going to take a penalty for this play. And it's definitely going to be a play we'll ask him about, because it is a very, in this scenario, it's a very risky play to make. All right, Killer App. Well, this leaves us what? 2 items in Desert plus Green Pendant. What else?
Dip into Pod. We got Smith Chain. Not much else after that, I believe.
I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, wow. So Rick taking less of a fall than JP did, but gonna go ahead and say, screw you, Moldorm. I'm out of here. I'm assuming that fall was intentional. It was not intentional, right?
Right.
He dodged the pennant. Okay, sorry. I was looking at JP. Right,
yeah, I was going to say. You didn't need the pennant, so
yeah, that's what...
Watching the cutscene.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, why would you fall? How could you fall with Tempered Sword? Sorry. Was looking at JP's side, so... That makes a lot more sense. Alright, well... I mean, that's the thing, is... Now it's just down to Overworld or Pendant Dungeons, or Bolus Pod. I mean, the thing is, both these players should be comfortable sequence breaking Palace of Darkness, the bow side at least. You know, there is 2 ways you can go about doing it. There's the Mimic Clips, there's the Potion Glitch. Both are allowed, both are pretty epic. And you never know, you could get a bow-locked bow. It's possible, we've seen it. But, you know, you could also walk up there and just first chest not be a small key, and then the entirety of the dungeon is bow locked.
He's making the pod play.
Oh man,
Here we
It's
go.
exciting stuff. Because he could full clear this and find nothing. I mean, here's the thing: is he still need to find the big key anyway. And Pod is kind of one of those awful dungeons for routing it efficiently.
Imagine finding ether in the first chest to get the bow in the pyramid.
I could see it. I could definitely see it. Well, the nice thing for Rick is he is going to get his sword upgrade. So that advantage on JP's side is going to be taken away. But JP has pretty decent lead at this point. He's going to be able to clear this, and even if this doesn't have anything, you know, unless Rick immediately goes to Pod 2, JP's still going to be checking new stuff first, because I want to say full clear in Pod at this point is probably going to take roughly around the same amount of time as it is for Rick to clear Ice Palace, just because Ice Palace kind of stinks.
And we're immediately bow locked.
Immediately bow locked. Get out of there. Hey, what do you think this is? Now this is a questionable play. Would you need the bow to beat the game? But you're still looking for one more other item. Do you think this is a safe play? I mean, it could be something as simple as
yeah, it just depends. Like if you're good with this potion glitch and whatnot to get it quick. Like he knows what he's doing here, so yeah, it's not a bad play. I think if you're looking for the big key too.
I mean, I would feel bad if I didn't.
Yeah.
You know, break logic and Pod and miss out on a locked bow or something. But
and also, if he does find ether here, he won't have to worry about looking for a bow in Mire.
Yeah, and you know, like it with any sequence break, is you can kind of gather some important information about where the item that you skipped could possibly be. So if he does find ether, then he knows. But I'd say that, but then progressive bows kind of turns that logical thinking into just straight in the garbage can. You can't think about that anymore because there could still be another bow somewhere. So, oh, is it really going to be? Well, actually, I don't know. This could be because sometimes there's 2 items in the front. Sometimes usually there's 2 items. Sometimes there's only 1. Did he get 2 items already?
I'm gonna say progressions on Magic Bat.
Oh yeah, dude, we got that powder a long time ago.
Yeah.
Damn, looks like I stand corrected. Look like Rick will be finishing Ice Palace first, so now it really comes down to what's next. And that mini Moldorn or mini Helma looked like he did a little bit of a rail clip there. We're gonna have to bring that up with the racing consoles. That's allowed. I'm kidding. I ain't doing nothing.
Never take Willard seriously.
I'm not. Can we get some posts over in the? Nah, I'm kidding. You know, it'd be unfortunate if the big key ended up being vanilla here in Pod. JP's gonna check literally everything else first.
Yeah.
All right, this is looking like a desert play for Rick, and if Rick finds the bow, and then like Ether's on Helma, there's so much opportunity for this race to like completely flip around. I mean, these guys are basically tied up again. Anything in the big chest? What we got? More bombs.
Oh boy.
So there's 1 item, and there's the map. So yeah, as long as Rick doesn't go to Pod before doing this or Smith Chain, I mean, he's not gonna like. He's doing this. You can't do Pod before this. That's not an option anymore, Willard. You can't say that. As long as he doesn't do pod after this, if this ends up being a bust. Oh my god!
You called it.
No
Bow.
way!
Bow
Locked bow. Oh, alright. Well, that is a huge play over on JP's side. Just means he's not going to lose time having to come back here later. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, I know... I don't know. Where's Ether? He still has to make a decision. It's going to be Ether, Smith Chain... I mean, with Smith Chain, you could do Save the Smith, Purple Chest, Hammer Pegs, and Magical Bat. I think we've seen one item in Desert, and there's still the Green Pendant as well.
Yeah, so Rick definitely making the right choice here and going to Land Mola.
Because, yeah, at this point, this could still be the Bow and Pyramid Fairy, but we're never going to see that on JP's side. Wow. So, yeah, at this point, JP obviously needs to find Ether next. But he could still find the other bow sitting around out in the wild. We do know that Helmstar is only going to have the map, so there's no more progression here in Pod. But that potion glitch ended up paying out real big for JP. But yeah, where is that Ether medallion? I gots to know. Yeah, JP just picked up the bow in the vanilla big key chest, which was logically locked by Bow because the first chest in Pod was a heart container. Oh,
Almost. Just
barely
missed the
shy.
cycle.
Gold sword, he can just splash him down. Red mail, that is not what he was looking for, but here's the thing, the other thing, he did just get green pendant. I could see Rick going maybe into Pod next because of the direction this green pendant is going to take him.
Right.
I guess the seed kind of unfortunately played out that if Smith Chain is actually the answer, because of where Mitts were, and because of where Hammer was. I mean, I guess these players could have got Mitts out of Hype Cave and then just immediately went back to Kakariko to do Smith Chain, but why the heck would you ever consider doing that?
Rick going immediately to Sahashala, not going to the Dark World like he was going to Pod afterwards. So
Where's JP going? Jesus Christ. She scared the crap out of me.
Sorry, I tried to cover my mouth.
Holy cow, I was not ready for that. I'm sitting here like figuring out what the heck JP's trying to do, but he's going to the hobo, but God, my heart.
The back and forth is so good.
Well, alright. So, JP just has to go kill Green Pendant Land Molens. I could see him go Smith Chain instead. It's possible.
It's a toss-up at this point.
We don't want him to go back to Hera, unless you want him to lose, in which you do. But yeah, so Bo could just be chilling here in Mire, and this looking like JP is going to go for Smith Chain, so this is huge for Rick. Oh no, he's going to check the pedestal?
Pedestal, yeah.
Ah. What would be an interesting turn of events is if Pyramid Fairy does what it always does and has nothing. And JP, that's not the right way. Both these guys are getting lost in the Lost Woods. Lost Woods really, holding up its name.
Yep.
And then, it's true, the Smith Chain could actually lead to the other bow now at this point. The logical bow. So, this is very interesting. Yeah, looks like JP is going to commit to the Smith Chain, so that's going to give Rick time to catch up, and if Bo just ends up being here in Mire, Well, I'd say Pod would be quick, but because of the nature of Pod and the big key being in the Dark Maze, it's still probably going to be relatively close to a full clear.
Mm-hmm.
But Rick would get those silver arrows. Yeah, this is going to be an exciting match. This could be just because of how things are turning around. I mean, this could end up being just coming down to GT routing.
Could definitely see that.
All right, did see one item here in Misery Mire. It was a heart container. The question is, what is the other item? Is it gonna be the bow? Is it gonna be another junk item? So, I mean, JP's not gonna be checking Pyramid Fairy, so if that does end up being the bow, then he's gonna save a little bit of time there over Rick. Green Pennant Lamos. So Hera was a bust. Eastern had Moon Pearl. Green Pennant Desert had Required Ether. So two of the three Pennant dungeons ended up being useful. JP find nothing but rupees over here. He's gonna go check Magic Bat, flute over. Okay, the race is on. No bow in here.
Pyramid hype.
I mean, it's Magic Bat, Purple Chest, or Pyramid. That's the only place this logical bow could be. And, I mean, that's another thing to look at, is JP could have the silvers for Vitreous as well.
That's true.
Dude, these runners got to be feeling so far behind because they last location their Dark World access. Now they're gonna last location their Go mode.
Rick's gotta go back around because he has no small key. Oh, and it's in the pyramid.
It's so much money.
Oh, that was good.
Dude,
Guess
that trip yielded him 10 arrows and 620 rupees. Just so much money.
Yep.
And Rick's probably not going to do any of that, just because, I mean, I can't imagine him not going straight to Pyramid Fairy after this, so...
Yeah, this is going to be very close going into GT.
Which is what we want to see. That's the kind of exciting stuff we want to see. We want to see some close races. And I knew these guys would put up a really good race. So this is exciting to watch. I mean, obviously, I'm slightly biased because JP is my teammate. Of course, I want him to win. But getting a close race like this just is perfect. Like, I always love it when races come down to execution. Like, they're that close. Well, the thing is to think about for both these runners is that both of these remaining dungeons they have left have kind of terrible big key placement.
And we could see Rick getting the silvers too.
Yeah, generally players like to full clear the front of Pod before heading towards the back. It's interesting to see JP skip it to go to the back, but it could have been, 5 small keys in the front. That's possible. Rick putting that cape and gold sword to good use. Dashing through the small eyeballs and then, while still invisible, just wailing on the poor big eyeball. And Vitreous goes down. In a pinch. Pyramid Fairy probably coming up for Rick, but this is also his 6th crystal. This is so exciting.
It's a great race. Back and forth, close into GT. Couldn't have asked for a better race.
JP gonna kill Lamos, get his green pendant, get his ether, and then we'll head straight to Mire. So It's going to come down to how he routes Misery Mire. If Rick does go straight to Pyramid Fairy, or if he's going to go do Smith Chain, he's going.
He has Hammer, so he's going.
This is
check that Pyramid.
Obviously the right play because we know it's the right play, but I think in general it just feels like the right play.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited that Pyramid Fairy is actually going to be useful because it never is.
Right.
It's usually terrible. And the nice thing is they killed Aga, so they can just, walk up, mirror, go through the portal. So it's going to be pretty quick. Ooh, JP having a little bit of trouble in this Landmol's fight. Not even getting one kill in the first cycle, or the first phase. But doesn't really lose too much time. Gets his red mail. He's a purple dino. And gets his green pennant, so he has literally nothing left. He's going to go check this green pennant, get his ether, and it's really just going to come down to routing Mire versus routing Pod and
routing GT.
Routing GT. All right, we know it's here. There it is. And 10 bombs, the rare 10 bombs. That's a unique item. At 138, 23, 22, AdirondackRick has activated Go Mode, while at 138, 33, JP has also activated Go Mode. So, what's it going to be, guys? It's going to come down to routing, execution, go fast. First person GT wins. But then, this is the interesting part. All it takes is GT routing. One person goes left, one person goes right, one person randomly gambles tile room and ends up being right. That's not going to happen, but it could. And we're gonna be fully loaded after this. I mean, I can't imagine Rick missing out on silvers, but at the same time, I could see him, he's gonna get that heart container. He might just go straight to the back after finishing right side. It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
But he very likely is gonna get those. If he doesn't get those, then this kind of becomes less of a close race, unless GT routing is just so different. Good chance that JP's probably going to follow the same route that Rick did and go for vanilla big key chest. Ooh, get that or that full magic. Yeah, there we go. I can't believe this had a locked bow. That's just amazing. And that's the thing is, they could have had that bow pretty early if they had just gone straight to Pod after Aga Tower. Of course, they didn't have a potion then, so they would have had to have done like clips.
Mm-hmm.
But that's still an option. So, but even having a bow that early, I don't know if that. I mean, I don't know how much of a difference that would have made. All right, Rick, what are you going to do? You going to finish the front? You're going to head to the back?
Let's find out.
All right, he's going to get his silvers, so that's good.
Yep, he's full clear in the front, so he's going to get his silvers here.
JP skipping out on the vanilla big key chest. If he goes to the right and grabs that chest right next to the big chest, he's going to save some time, and it looks like that is what he's going to do. So it's going to put the advantage back in JP's side. Of course, he's going to do the same thing and need to get a small key, but. Alright, at this point, both these runners are tied up in defense and offense. in crystals, in sanity, I'd say. All tied up. At this rate, though, it does look like JP will probably be the first one into GT just because he's got a clear path to the boss. Rick still has to get the big key here, and, you know, with big key and maze, you're generally going to get that last. Though he will be able to skip out on the remaining 2 items in the dark maze and big chest. Oh, I just realized. I didn't even... What am I thinking?
What?
JP's not going to get those silvers, so Rick's got a huge advantage. I don't know why that didn't even dawn on me. Because he's not going to Pyramid Fairy after this. No way. Why would he do that? I mean, he knows the bow's there.
He saw his butter sword, though, so it's not really going to have a huge effect just on the last phase again. Last phase of Ganon.
Yeah. It's not insurmountable. I mean, I guess if they were like neck and neck going to GT, silvers.
Yeah.
Silvers are very quick versus 12 spins, but at the same time, you know, with Rick trailing behind, this might be something that would help him speed things up a little bit. But yeah, that would only really be in the Ganon fight. And, you know, maybe Land Molas too or something. So. All right, well, Vitreous goes down in a pinch. JP grabs his 7th crystal, which means Killer App. We're going to GT.
Playing that game you love?
We're going to play that game I love. We got 22 chests, guys. Coming up, 22 chests and or 22 locations for this GT big key to be located. I already see the numbers are going in chat. You guys know you guys have been here before. And in one of those locations is going to be that big key that we need to go up the gauntlet. I'm cheering for my boy JP. I want it to just be straight up in Hope Room or Southwest Room. Just put it right there. Put it right there. Let's get this over with. Let's go upstairs. But for the sake of me being extremely unbiased, I want it to be somewhere silly, and they both find it at different times, but it evens out.
It's good, because either way, I can now blame you for its spot.
How dare you? Oh, bot's broken? Aw, dang. All right, well, give me like 20 minutes so I can sift through everyone's guess and write it down so I can make sure I credit someone with the actual victory. Or I'll take the victory. I like that one. That one takes a lot less effort. I did it. I win. I'm the winner. Alright, so looking at this, I mean, it's going to be a difference of a mountain climb at this point.
Yep.
Which, all it takes is JP to go full left side, find nothing, it's on Compass Room. Like, this ain't over yet. Unless Big Key is like in the first, like, 5 chests. Then it's potentially over.
Then it's down to whether they Ganon fall or not.
Yeah. Which, you know, when you're an hour 46 minutes in, just now entering GT, you've last location like 3 times. You're looking, like, if you have the race channel open, you're looking for that dot done, and that's why I don't like to have IRC open while I'm racing, especially when I enter GT, because I want to just focus on playing well. I just want to focus on getting things done. And if I'm constantly looking over to see if my opponent finished or not, I'm not looking at the screen. And if you're not looking at the screen, well,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? Get out of here. All right, well, we got a small key on the torch. JP going to continue his trip to the left, so I would only assume that this is going to be a left, right, left scenario. So will we have the big key here in Stalfos Room? We got another key. We got a red rupee. We got a heart piece.
And a
shovel. He's gonna actually switch to book, then switch to Mire. Mire out. He's heading right side. Is it gonna be in Hope Room? 2 checks coming up over here. What do we got? We have another small key. That's so many small keys. Another $50. When I'm seeing those small keys, it either is like, for me, it's saying, hey, maybe Tile Room doesn't have a small key like it usually does.
Yeah.
Or maybe Double Fire Bar Room is hiding some goods. So, curious to see what route Rick takes. If he does Hope Room full left, and it's in like Rando Room, this could be closer. If he does the same route as JP, he'll of course be behind. Okay, 4 chests coming up and then a small key. What do we got over here? We have bombs. We've got a big 20. A small bloopy. Another one. Okay.
Not to be.
And Rick is going Hope Room first. So these guys are gonna be. These guys would be. It's suddenly really close now. Assuming Rick. I mean, Rick has to still check Stalfos Room. Bonk the torch. JP's still gonna take a lead here.
Doesn't go right after getting that small key. Interesting
knows.
strategy.
He knows. He already knows it's the losing play. No, I don't know. This could still be Tile Room, and then it doesn't matter. But yeah, but we're starting to get into territory where these silvers might actually play a part, especially if the big key just ends up being like right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a map. We continue.
So
This is so exciting.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm like anxious, but in a good way. The good kind of anxious. Chad, I hope you guys are having fun. Because I'm having fun.
Looks like he's continuing, so if you would think if they both have the same execution throughout, Rick would have the advantage right now based on silvers alone.
Yeah, this could be a nail biter.
Yep.
I mean, it could like, here's the thing, like, it could be along the way here, and the other thing is if it's like behind Ice Armos, then Rick's gonna take advantage with those silvers even more so.
Yeah.
First he's gotta figure out how Super Mario blocks work. He gets through. JP also has to, realize he needs some more arrows, so for JP, he needs it to be right here. Well, there's his arrows.
No. Oh.
Okay. Bob's chest to bail him out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to lose too much time unless he royally goofs up Ice Armos, which is, everybody does that every now and then. But, he is going to be at a bit of a disadvantage with his arrow shots. Ooh, bit of a goof there. Accidentally bonking, not getting the skip, so he has to go through these portals, allowing Rick to catch up even more.
18 hearts on Rick's side. Dang. That's a full clear 5%.
It's not Bob's chest.
Jeez.
It's okay. It's either behind Ice Armos or Tile Room, so. Oh, and Rick messes it up too. All right, so they're on equal footing here. Can JP get the quick setup? He's not going to get the quick kill here, but
A nice setup though. Quick fight and didn't miss a shot, so.
All right, what do we got? Big key! Yes! There it is! In chest number 21.
Second to last chest.
Oh, you got to feel for JP because he's feeling even more behind now, and Rick's gonna be catching up with every silver arrow he tosses.
Yeah.
Bit of a quicker Ice Armos fight there. So yeah, the only way JP can hold on to this lead is if he can out-execute Rick going up the gauntlet so that the silver arrow difference is not significant enough in the Ganon fight. But this is real close. JP taking advantage of having that mirror shield to take out the mimics.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is kind of crazy. This is arguably the downside about that pod sequence break. So it's like, yay, I sequence broke the bow. Oh no, I didn't get the silvers.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, it could have gone in the complete opposite direction. Well, no. If Bo wasn't at Pyramid Fairy, Rick would have gotten Bo off of the other spot. So never mind. Right, Gold Sword, half magic.
Very nice room there.
Yeah, those Stalfos lined up perfectly. Oh, the Zizek's being nice too.
Getting a good enemy RNG right now. Oh, beautiful gauntlet.
Oh my gosh! How can one get so lucky? Oh no, they have magic. It's gone. Okay, I gotta say, that was a really clean front half of the gauntlet for JP.
That was cleaner
really
than
nice.
clean.
That was super nice. Now it looks like he is going to lose a little bit of time here. He does want to conserve his magic a little bit, but while Rick is probably going to be able to catch up a little bit, being able to use the silver arrows, but at the same time, if you miss a silver arrow, you're...
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not an easy shot.
Yeah, you're going to get a 2-cycle.
too.
This is so close. Okay. Canis Mari out, taking out the 2 sets of Wizard's rooms. Then we got 2 sets of torches. JP has to know that silvers aren't going to be up here. I can't imagine him checking any more chests. Oh gosh, almost took a dive there. And yeah, Rick having to do, I think it looked like 2 cycles on Lamola 2.
I think it was either 3 or 4. Did not have a clean Lamola 2
Oh,
fight.
it was a 3 cycle? Oh, okay. JP probably gonna have to grab... you might have enough to get it up here. Okay, he's gonna play it safe, grab the full magic, wait for the torch to go out in the previous room. Last thing you want to do in a race like this is to accidentally despawn all the enemies out of GT by going up the stairs at the same time the torch goes out in the previous room. That would be real bad. I can't remember the last time we've seen that happen in a tourney race. I just don't think that happens. Yeah, this is... JP is in the driver's seat. Rick, advantage with those silver arrows, but will that be enough to overcome JP's impressive gauntlet climb?
Yeah, he's had a really good GT as far as execution.
Like, I'm sure he's feeling behind because of all the last locations he did, but like, when you can sit down and be like, dude, that was a nice GT. I was really happy with that. All right, well, we're not done yet. We still have the fight with Agahnim for the 2nd time. We actually killed him already once before. Basically the same fight, except he has 2 clones of himself. And we can reflect 6 of these shots into him. Only going to get 1 on the first cycle. Oh, gosh, JP. This is not looking good. You can't... Like, Rick is going to catch up.
Move.
This got to be nerves coming in.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's going for the slashes.
That was a nice triple there.
There's a triple, okay. Oh, and another! Nice! A double to finish it out. So, he only needed 1. But...
This is gonna be down to the wire.
yeah. If Rick can get this in, like, a 3 cycle, this could be the difference that he needs, and that is not a good start so far.
No.
Oh, I didn't even realize that the 2 clones didn't move in the 2nd cycle. Interesting. Looks like Rick is probably going to get another set, but we are hopping into the Ganon fight for JP. Oh, was that a 4 cycle or was that a 5?
4.
Okay. 6 slashes phase 1, 6 slashes phase 2, 4 to get him into phase 4, and then for JP it's going to be 12 spins, while Rick only has to use 4 silver arrows. So now, of course, based on how the randomizer works, these guys are both going to have the exact same RNG, the exact same number of Ganon warps, same patterns, all the same. As long as we don't see a fall or a death, which would be remarkable with these items, with this loadout. Both players at the Ganon fight, same time. JP with a bit of a lead, I don't think silvers are going to be enough to bail Rick out of this. But we'll see.
Oh, dodges that barely.
Jesus Christ.
It's going to have a panic attack.
Why would you do that? That was very reckless. Okay. He's got to be careful. He did get the torch glitch, so he's fine. Switching to silver, or to the fire rod. I bet he wish he could switch to the silvers. He's got 2 hits. He's got 3 hits. I'm going to be just counting along. Rick, very close to getting to the next phase.
Yep.
JP needs to get these triples if he wants to stay in this race. And not really giving him the right setups. He's
missed a spin there.
Missing it every time. I have already lost track.
You got 1 hit in. Oh, the setup.
Is that
Did he get a triple? Nope. You might get him here, though. And there he goes. Rick is going to pull it out right at the end.
Oh my god. What a turn of events.
Wow. Silvers are the difference. That's got to be tough for JP.
What a
classic fanfare.
Close finish. Unbelievable.
Rick finishing first place with a time of 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 13 seconds. And not right far behind is BrewersFan finishing second. 1 hour, 58 minutes, 21 seconds.
So, 8-second difference.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's really hard to look at silvers, and you know, it's hard to realize how much of an advantage silvers really has. But yeah, like 8 seconds, you know, that could have come down. You could look at a bunch of different things that would cause that 8 seconds difference, but like missing some triples on Ganon, an extra cycle on Aga 2.
Rick had boots a lot earlier than
Rick had earlier boots.
Yeah.
It's wow, what a wild finish. We'll see if these runners want to come in, chit chat, talk this one out. We've got both of them here. Guys, what a wild ride. I don't even know where to start.
I mean, we could start with the crappy logic that this seed had.
Listen, just because you last location several times does... Yeah, you're right. This is pretty bad. Pretty crappy. I'm just still so hyped up after watching that finale.
Yeah, it was back and forth the whole second half of the race. It was amazing to watch.
It's crazy that a bow-locked bow and pod that JP sequence broke was like... It was such a good play. And then the silvers and pyramid... It was a very crazy ending. But GG's to both you guys. This was a crazy race to watch. Rick, I'll let you start. Walk me through it. How are you feeling after all that? Obviously, probably just glad it's over.
And the thing is, after the pyramid, if I was going to come up empty, then I was going to go into pod and sequence break it. And I would have been like, whoa. And then I would have been like, JP got this early. And then be like, where's the done?
You would have sequence road pod looking for a bow over Smith Chain?
Well, I was in that general area. I mean, I might as well complete the cycle in case bow turns out to be, but maybe I probably wouldn't have made it past the heart container at that stage. I don't know.
Yeah, that would have been a rough decision to make. You pull that heart container, like, well, I know a bow can't be in here, and we've seen progressive bow in GT pretty often, so that would have been an interesting scenario had that played out that way.
Just like we've seen bow and pod before behind the bow. I mean, it's a possibility.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you guys were basically neck and neck get into the Dark World. You guys were both fighting Aga at the same time. Only difference there was JP grabbing that fire rod early, because you apparently just went straight into the drop down.
Yeah, I didn't see it on the ledge there, so it was a little later for me to get back there, but I was glad that I went back when I did because of the Cane of Samaria location. Yeah, that worked out pretty well. Yeah, you actually had... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, as I said, you skipping that actually helped, because with the fire rod, I think it led JP to doing both swamp and ice before going up to get his boots up in Death Mountain.
You mean? Oh, okay, yeah. That was one of the early defining moments of the seed. Was JP did both Ice and Swamp, while you were the first one up on Death Mountain, Rick, to get the boots and to get Samaria, and to see that the Bombos that only you had seen at that point was at Lumberjack. So you had like 3 items in the bag right there.
Yeah, heading through that entire walkthrough after defeating Agahnim, I'm like, I don't want to have to walk back through this all over again. I'm going to do everything that I possibly can on this sea route, which is why I ducked into Swamp when I did before going into Hype Cave. Was like, okay, if there's something in here, I don't want to have to walk all the way back around a second time to get to it.
I'm still mad that you did the Swamp before Hype Cave. What if Hype Cave had the hammer? That would have been hilarious.
Then I would have muttered my way back to Swamp Cave to myself, and I'd be like, "Argh."
Yeah, no,
But
that's
it is
fair.
what it is.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, who knows? It could have not been a bee in the first item chest of Swamp. Gosh, what was the next big moment? You guys were pretty much trading places. Rick, you were the first one to dive into T-Rock. That ended up amounting to really nothing but a crystal and 2 shields, which is always nice.
Yeah, and then you decide to go into Tower of Hera instead of going to Ice after T-Rock, which is pretty interesting.
Talk us through that, because it was a basement required. What were you feeling behind at that point? Or was that just like I'm up here, I'm going to do it now. If I don't do it now, I'm never doing it kind of thing?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, because everything else was done in the mountain at that point in time. I had already done Light World stuff, Dark World stuff, Spike Cave was already checked. There was just little reason in my mind to leave it behind at that point, because that would have been one of the last locations I get to, including choosing to go to Desert Palace earlier, which would have been the right play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was interesting. On JP's side, we saw the Hera pot, and we saw the one item off of Moldorm, but JP ended up never going back into Hera, so he never got that. What was it? Sanctuary Heart? That was
Sank Heart in the big chest.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, towards the end, we saw you were the first one to get the Ether Medallion, skipping Smith Chain. We could sit here and be like, oh, this is why the race concluded this way, and this and this and this. But it was really just like JP picking Pod, getting the bow, and then from there he went and checked Pedestal, and then did the Smith Chain, while Desert ended up being the answer. So that's what kind of tied things up in there. But then, JP saving a little bit of time in Mire, skipping the Vanilla Big Key chest, and then came down to GT routing.
Yeah,
And then-
getting to do Misery Mire in Go mode was a little bit better, considering the fact that he wasn't looking for anything compared to me, who wound up getting my 18th and 19th hearts out of there.
Yeah, you had quite a few hearts by the end of that one.
Sorry, fantasy owners.
Got him. I just want to point out, JP, I know you're probably pretty obviously bummed out losing it this close of a race, but I just want to say your gauntlet was amazing. It was really, really good.
Yeah, I thought Rick might have had a good advantage because he got the small key right side and then went left, which really, really closed the gap. But he kept it, maybe even made bigger gap before Ganon.
Yeah, this race easily could have gone either way. It came literally down to a couple spins, but it was an incredibly exciting race. JP, just kind of walk us through your playthrough of the seed, or just how you're feeling.
Well, I mean, I will say to lose a race like that is pretty hard. I know you guys are complimenting me on my gauntlet, but at the same time, I'm like, I had a 5-cycle Aga too, and I was missing my triple spins on Ganon.
Mhm.
That easily could have been the difference right there. So I mean, that's the biggest thing I'm beating myself up about right now.
And I would have said, if this result was the other way around, JP, I would have been sitting there at my 3-cycle Lammo, and I have Silvers and Fire Rod and half Magic, and I'm like, I would be doing the same thing, and then I'd be also cursing the out of sync Aga 2 that I had.
Well, the Aga 2, I will say, was bad. Those placements were bad, and it got out of sync fast. Which hurt.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think there was only a difference of like one cycle. I think Rick, you got in like 4 cycles versus JP getting in 5. But yeah, the patterns were not great. They also didn't move in the second cycle. The 2 clones stayed in the exact same spot. So like, because they didn't have to move, they came up a lot faster than I'm sure either you were ready for.
That led to the desync, and it's not fun when they get desynced like that, but it is what it is. But going into this race, I knew that JP was going to be a really interesting race. I know we have kind of similar play styles, similar ways we treat these seeds, and I was just definitely looking forward to this match. And win or lose, it's been fantastic competing against you.
Yeah, same. Yeah, just kind of going back to the question, like how I routed this. Well, I mean, first of all, when you see 3 pendants in the light world, you're like, is the seed really going to do this to us?
It never does. It never has.
It never does. It did end up playing out pretty well. I mean, it was still an Aga seed, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, once I hit Dark World, well, when I saw the Fire Rod, I immediately went back to that because I'm like, okay, I want to clear out Skullwoods right away, so I want to get that Fire Rod, which is why I did. Grabbed the Fire Rod, went into Hera. There was another part I lost a minute probably, and I fell down that stupid center hole. It's the first time I've done that in a while.
Yeah, that was kind of unfortunate just because you had to deal with Fighter Sword, Moldorum, and Moldorum's always a jerk after you hit him 5 times usually.
Well, it wasn't even after 5. It was like I may have 1 hit him and he knocked me down, so at least I didn't lose that much time on him, but still. But yeah, then I got Fire Rod. I went straight over, like, since it was basically a situation where I only had 1 access into Dark World, I usually try to full clear a little more in that scenario, which is why I went Catfish to Graveyard Ledge into Skullwoods. Skullwoods had nothing. I went to Thieves Town. That had nothing. Where did I get my first real? I guess it was Hype Cave. It was Hype Cave. Yeah, that had the myths. That gave me some progression. And then at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna focus dungeons for now. Which, of course, I don't even know how much did the dungeons really have. I don't feel like the dungeons really had anything in the seed.
Rick, stop! Whatever you're doing, please stop. He's dancing on his mic. Yeah, I don't know. Ice Palace had a sword. Pod had a bow. T-Rock had some shields.
I think, there was a couple things in Eastern. You had to do Desert for the Ether Medallion, but I don't think the dungeons really had anything in this seed beyond that.
It was really a lot of Overworld, and which is unfortunate because you go the whole game, and Overworld's kind of has everything. So when you did the Smith chain, you're like, there's got to be Ether around here somewhere, right?
I was actually worried it was back in Hera, because if it was in Hera, I knew I lost.
Oh,
because my guess was Rick would not Hera pot.
Right. Yeah, that's the risk of the Hera pot, is if you don't get both items when you do it, it's like, well...
Yeah, and I don't know what Rick's experience is. I don't think I'm not sure if he knows Hera pots. He might not.
I've done it before, but I've been a little reluctant at doing it of late ever since getting burned with the hammer in one of the weekly races.
Yeah. All it takes is 1.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, I focused dungeons. I went into pod after Torque. I'm thinking, okay, I saw his bow locked. I'm like, okay, even though it's his bow locked, Ether could be here. I don't want to come back and just to find Ether later, so I'm gonna check it. When I found the bow, I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, especially because the way you routed the dungeon, that was the last chest you opened up in pod.
Yeah.
So it was like, wow, and then shortly after, Rick pulls Ether from turning in Green Pen, and it was like, we have our information mostly, except for the other logical bow.
Yeah. But that's why I went, even though I knew Ped wasn't in logic at this point, I'm like, okay, look, there's a strong chance that there's a bow sitting somewhere out there I just haven't found yet. So I'm gonna go check the pedestal just to make sure. Because if it was a ped seed, then I know, okay, just go clear Eastern, go get desert and get it.
Yeah, of course. And that's the thing, is like, if the other bow had not been Pyramid Fairy, if it had been Smith Chain, we could be seeing a different story here. But at the same time, I don't want to. Silver's made up a lot of time for Rick at the end of this, but like, I wouldn't say they were like the deciding factor. There was this literally was basic. I would have treated this like a tie, basically. Like, we're less than 10 seconds apart. That's like one Ganon spin. But I do want to point out, despite the fact that Rick had the boots for so dang long compared to you, JP, like, you had boots for all of Swamp and Ice. That's how soon he had it. Like, the fact that this ended up being this close still, and also with Rick like routing saving time in GT, and a couple other, skipping Smith Chain. Like, this was such a close race, so you got to give yourself some credit.
Yeah.
If I choose to go right hand side because of that baited right key, that first key in Hope Room, you win this race.
Yeah, I mean, I kept it really close, but I'm also at the same time, I'm sick of kind of my tournament seeds lately. It's like, I don't know the last time I caught a break.
They've been really bad. Just the seeds are just bad.
This one here has just been an awful seed. I mean, you had to go into 2 pendant dungeons to get into go mode because you had the Moon Pearl and Eastern, which you had to dip without a bow in the first place. Then you had to sit there and wonder whether or not it's going to be an Agassi. And then finally, oh God, there's the cape. I guess we're going to Aga.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. There's two things to take away from this. You guys both played really well. This was a lot of fun to watch. 3 things. You both got sub 2, despite the seed being awful and last location, almost everything. And 3, at least of the pendant dungeons you had to do, they were all light roll dungeons, which are pretty baby. So could have been, surprisingly, could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Yeah, that's true.
I just want to take a moment to interrupt Rick to tell him to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Willard.
No, you go ahead. Do it.
But I was just gonna pretty much say that, we could take a look at a race like this, and one decision could have been different. I just barely beat Trinex with 2 hearts remaining. He touches me one more time, I'm dead, and we could take a look at anything of those.
You thank your lucky stars you had that hook shot in Naga Tower. You would have been toast too. To stun the red guards.
you were going
stupid
up there
guards that don't go down to Ice Rod.
you tried so hard. You hit like 3 of them or 2 of them, and nothing happened.
Punished for not checking.
Yeah, and then when I did see the fire rod, I'm like, God, that would have helped me with my Aga Tower so badly. But JP, does hold your head up high. I mean, look at your collection rate. It's a 182, but you sub-2'd it. That's got to say something about your routing and execution.
Yeah, it does.
The 182 is ridiculous. That's so big. I mean, here's the thing. I don't really see much value in sitting here and thinking like, oh, if I had done this, it would have been different. If I had done this, it would have been different. Besides, we got week 2 to get ready for, and we got some pretty good teams coming up. I know our team, WJP TBB, will be taking on Team Kappa. Rick, who are you guys taking on next week?
We get Fylian's team.
Oh, some sick matchups coming up next week.
Yeah, we already decided it's going to be Clifford versus Fylian, and I get Levon Firestorm.
Nice. I get Gamachu, and JP gets our very own JP, your ace, right? You get Fear Agent, right?
Yeah.
Oh baby! All right. Now we're doing a triple header, right? Thursday.
I believe that's the idea. We'll see about it.
Thursday evening, triple header. Rick versus, you said Levon?
Levon Firestorm, yes.
Me versus Gamachu. JP versus Fear Agent. It's going to be heckin' great. All right, guys. I think we've talked enough. But I just want to take a moment to say this was an awesome race. You guys are fantastic runners. I had a lot of fun watching and commentating. Killer app, thanks for joining. This was great. Hope you had
Pleasure
fun.
as always.
And shout-outs to our tracker, literally, Jen, for tracking this one. Thank you so much. And, of course, to the fine folks at Speed Gaming for putting this race on, and for the fine folks at the Random League for putting this whole shebang on. And, of course, chat, for you guys for watching. Hope you had fun. There's plenty more tournament action, Random League action going on across SG. There's probably one going on right now. Go find it. Go find it. Go. Get out of here. Get out of here. All right. I've been Will J. Bradley. Thank you guys so much. Take it easy.
See ya.